I've said this many times over the last couple of years, but just like my high school basketball coach, you don't take me seriously. Every time I try to preach this gospel, you think I'm joking. I'm not. Wipe that smile off of your face, Buster. I am going to scream it once again with my whole chest. Cringe is the ultimate evil. It's the only unforgivable sin. Through the eyes of the internet, the ultimate crime is being cringe. So why am I talking about this? Well, it's because two videos have just gone viral for being cringy, and everyone has been dunking on them. The first one absolutely blew up, and it's become one of the most divisive videos I've seen hit the internet since the fucking Yanny and Laurel debate. It's this woman celebrating getting her pancakes by doing a little boogie. I have to mute the audio, so I'm just gonna beatbox for this. On Twitter, this video has well over 100 million views. This is the biggest tweet from it, saying we're all the person at the next table, and it's that woman in the background who's looking on confused and disgusted and annoyed about this. And the video has over 100 million on Twitter, but then an additional like 30 million or so on TikTok. And boy howdy, has this led to an unbelievably large and aggressive conversation. Mortal Kombat 1 came out, but the fatalities in this debate have been far more brutal than anything in that game. I tell you what, sports fans, this shit has been wacky. It's her pretending that she's super excited to get food, my hangriness leaving my body, and she's doing a little goofy TikTok dance. It's very artificial. It's not real. Like, is she actually having fun here? Who's to say? That's a secret between her and God. I have no idea if she's actually having fun, but it's clearly performative for TikTok updoots. She's looking for the internet likes. And it's not really bothering anyone because she's just doing it herself. The only one that's directly involved here is the staff that's bringing her the food, and she's subjecting them to cringe, which could be considered terrorism to a certain extent because cringe is, it's a fucking weapon. I don't care what anyone says. Weaponized cringe is some of the most potent Geneva Convention violating warfare we have at our disposal. So yes, the staff is exposed to her like pretending that she's super excited to get food, so the staff brings it over and she starts dancing like a toddler here with her happy dance of food, and it's all fake, right? But she's not really bothering anyone. The girl at the other table is just looking on confused and annoyed, which is a very normal response I think most humans would have, because this is a very weird thing to do as an adult. If you want to be treated like an adult, then you need to dress like an adult. Me. That's right, we're doing a me costume for Halloween, so you can wear me like a goddamn flesh suit, so it comes complete with the long hair, even's got my tattoos 1-to-1 for temporary tattoos, and then just like a fun little shirt to go along with the whole collection. So that's the new merch drop for this Halloween. It's available now, I'll put a link in the description. Oh yeah, also the beard. You don't want to be a clean-shaven Charlie, that'd look really weird. And there's nothing cringy about that. If you don't want to get made fun of, then that's what you need to dress like for Halloween. Anyway, the point here is, a lot of people were extremely upset about this video. There was a lot of hostility both in people defending the action and those attacking it. Me personally, I don't like it. It does bother me. I've said this a million times. I think the current climate of things where everything needs to be a fucking song and dance that you put on for an online audience of TikTok people to give you attention is trash. Everyone competing for internet attention at all times and faking everything to get some likes on your posts, awful. So yeah, I don't like that. If I was in that restaurant, you wouldn't see me like flip over a table in anger or anything, but you would see me look over annoyed about it and maybe make fun of it a bit before moving on. But on the internet, cringe is a big deal, and it stays that way, and for some reason gets really aggressive and super deep, like almost philosophical to a certain point. In this case, with this video, she didn't really do herself any favors because she was arguing with everybody on TikTok, and she was getting really mean and nasty in some of the comments. But the point is, people respond to cringe very harshly. Now, there is a bigger talking point I want to get to, but in order to get there, I'd like to show you the other big video that blew up only about 2 days ago as of making this video.
Want to see the cringiest, most cuddly thing ever? This is called a love surge. And we do this when one of us has like so much love in our limbs that we can't contain it and feel like we're gonna explode. So Sean is having a love surge right now, and he's gonna wrap around me and shake with the electricity of love until I catch it too and start shaking, and then you explode with a love surge.
I feel so much better.
Don't you?
Thank you.
You're welcome. And that's the love surge.
So much love was just surged.
Sean's not wrong. There was a lot of love getting surged there. The cup runneth over on love. In fact, I think I started to feel some of the particles from that surge all the way over here. Nearly took out the power grid. Now, this also got really big on Twitter, and people fucking hated it. And they hated them for being cringy, which, as you can imagine, didn't feel super great for the woman in this video here who posted a follow-up.
A lot of the duets and stitches were really funny and I laughed a lot. I can take a joke and I can laugh at myself. But then some of the comments got like, really, really mean. And they were like wishing that like someone cheated on each other, or wishing that like DV on me, or SA, or like to unalive myself. And I think like if the goal was to make me sad, you did it. You won.
She posts this video going over how all of the really mean comments made her feel, like the really personal ones wishing horrible things upon her and the family. And what really sucks is how unsurprising this is. The internet has become a place where you expect this. Anytime a video is posted, no matter what it is, if it's cringy, even if it's good, you already know there's going to be a large number of people that are going to hate it. And when people on the internet don't like something, they go to the biggest possible extreme to let you know their dislike of it, telling you to do the worst things ever and wish the worst things ever upon you. It's unfortunately very commonplace online. I remember when I first started posting on the internet, I had read somewhere a quote: when someone wears a mask, they show you their real face. So basically, it's not the most profound thing ever. When someone is anonymous, they show you their true colors. And most people aren't that nice. And so what happened here is, this was cringy, so people started being very not nice, and she posted this video hoping that maybe if you saw how it made her feel, that it would stop. And as you can probably guess, it only made it worse. The comments were saying things like, just need another love surge, or order up on that love surge to help. If there's one thing the internet hates more than cringe, it's weakness, vulnerability. If you show that something hurt you, that's the biggest possible trophy you can ever give to people online, because now they know they're getting to you and they will just keep that pressure coming. There was really nothing good that could have come from this video, but I do legitimately feel bad for her and Sean here, because their only crime was posting something cringy. I don't think they should have posted it to begin with, but that's once again just the product of everything being a competition to get internet attention. So they took a very personal thing with them being lovey-dovey and having this really quirky love surge thing they do, and they wanted to share it online, because everyone wants to share everything online all the time. And what happened here is it ended up being an awful experience. So let's tie this into what I want to talk about on a deeper level. Why cringe is literally the worst thing you can do online as a content creator, it feels like. Over the many, many years I've been online, I have seen some people do the worst things imaginable. And those people still have an audience and supporters, despite being a piece of shit that does horrible things. And then I've seen cases where someone does something a little too whimsical. They get a little too silly and it's embarrassing. And they lose a lot of supporters for it. More so than someone that is an actually awful person doing horrible things. And I guess it's honestly not even fair to say that it's just the internet that has no forgiveness for cringe, because one of the best examples of an entire career being unraveled from something being a little too goofy actually comes from 2004 and predates the modern internet as we know it. Howard Dean and the now infamous Dean Scream. Howard Dean was a very prominent political figure, and in 2004 was a presidential candidate. And his entire world got fucking blasted when he was doing a rally and got a little too excited. He was given a very passionate speech. He's like, we're going to Washington, we're going to Oregon, then we're going to my buddy Eric's place to eat some ice cream, and then we're looping back around, we're going back to Washington, and then Oregon. Pyah! And that moment, that one silly little screech ruined his entire presidential run. and made him a laughingstock, all from just a droplet of cringe. I actually think he was a pioneer who was ahead of his time, because if he did that today, he'd be looked at as like an icon on TikTok, because that kind of shit's not cringy per se anymore. But anyway, the point I'm making here is it might not even just be an internet-specific phenomenon. It might be like a human-specific thing where we're just hardwired to dislike cringe and always hold it against the person who made us feel the cringe. I don't really know. I'm getting scientific about something that has absolutely no basis in science. It's just something I've observed for pretty much my whole life, where some people will do what I consider to be unforgivable things. Like legitimately horrible, terrible, awful things. And yet, they still go on to have an extremely successful career. They have tons and tons of fans. Someone like Chris Brown. Chris Brown, I think, is a bad guy. A hot take. I think he's a bit of a jerk. He has a history of beating women. He beat Rihanna within an inch of her life, and yet, look at him today. He has probably more fans now than ever. Like, he just got nominated for an award at the VMAs a few days ago, and people were cheering, applauding, losing their minds over it, celebrating. Somehow, his fans stood beside him and still support him through all of that. Meanwhile, there have been many such cases of someone posting either an embarrassing video as a YouTuber or having some embarrassing information leak or something cringy come out, and their fans like abandon them. Just like straight up drop it like, nope, I can't be seen here anymore. I don't know, it's just baffling to me. But yeah, now I'm starting to get a little lost in the rant here. Point is, with these two videos in particular, the people in them didn't do anything wrong. One of them wasn't even in public, and yet the response to it was extreme amounts of anger, which is always just interesting to me. And it's not like I'm innocent of it, like I'm super guilty of seeing some cringy things and being, surprised and even a little annoyed, even though I'm not directly involved for sure. But it's just fascinating to see like the level that people will take it to and just the incredibly harsh response to something cringy. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. That's it. So yep. I know my calm, composed, stoic demeanor may not give you any clues or hints at my internal struggle, but trust me, right now, I'm spiraling. I'm falling down a dark path I swore I'd never walk again. Like a former addict who finds the pipe once again, I have found my long since abandoned drug. I have become hooked on reading horrible text messages from dudes trying to get laid again. It's been many moons, and some of you who have been around the channel for a while may remember I've made a lot of content covering horrible pickup artists, as well as horrible text messages with self-proclaimed nice guys who are one gentle no away from letting the demon out and just flipping the switch to a full-blown conniption. Like, the word boyfriend would be, a Winter Soldier event that would have them just go ballistic. And I've made quite a bit of content, both laughing at the absurdity of it, as well as using it as an educational tool, like, hey, don't be like these goobers. But over time, I started kind of petering out from doing that because I just made so much of it, and I stopped indulging in that kind of content until recently. I could only fight the urge for so long. The werewolf is coming out. It's a full moon, and that moon is nothing but fucking cringe. I saw some text messages today that I've just got to go over. Now, before we embark on this journey together, it's important that I let you know that these are two college students. As we go through this, you'll probably assume that it's two 13-year-olds, but that's not the case. These are two college students that worked on a group project together, and now we're coming in after the completion of the project. So, they say, I just emailed Professor the final draft, so we should be good. To which the poster says, yay, and then sends a meme, go team. I really enjoyed working with you. You seem like a very sweet and smart girl, and I'd love to take you out sometime. To which they say, that's very kind of you, but I have a boyfriend. Oh boy. She said the phrase, I have a boyfriend. There is no phrase more powerful in the English language than that. The strongest sentence ever constructed. That's like the nuclear bomb here. I have a boyfriend is a phrase, nay, an incantation, more powerful than Avada Kedavra from Harry Potter. And it's just been deployed. So you can already start to speculate where things are going to go south. He responds by saying, heh, well thanks for leading me on. which catches her off guard. She says, "I'm sorry, but I don't think I've done anything to imply I was interested in dating you," to which he responds, "It's just funny how you never brought up that you were taken until now." Which is an interesting thing to respond with, because that makes it seem like he expects every girl that's taken to immediately state that upon starting a conversation with a man. Like they need to wear some kind of sign or some kind of label on their forehead that says, "Currently in relationship, not available, thank you. Try again at later date." Although she does say that she mentioned her boyfriend. "Actually, I did. When I was at your house, I told you my boyfriend was picking me up." Which she's able to counter beautifully by saying, "I thought you meant a boy that you were friends with. Because why would you go over to a guy's house if you're dating someone?" And she says, "Because you offered to host and we needed somewhere to work on our project together. My boyfriend knew and didn't care because all we were doing was working. I'm sorry if I did anything to give you the wrong idea." And then he says, "You let me buy you a pizza." Now, admittedly, I understand where the guy's coming from here. We all know about the law of equivalent exchange thanks to Full Metal Alchemist, and we have something like that in the real world. If you buy a girl a pizza, she is obligated to have sex with you. It's the pussy for pizza transaction. It's as old as time itself. So the fact that he was able to buy her a pizza and he didn't get his winky stinky is shocking. But yeah, anyway, he seems to really put a lot of stock in the importance of that pizza, like that was going to carry them all the way to marriage, like this is a moment she'd remember for the rest of her life or something, that pizza that he bought her. But I'd like to backtrack a bit just briefly. Let's go to the previous chapter where he said, "I thought you meant a boy you were friends with, because why would your boyfriend be okay with you going to a guy's house to work on a project?" And I feel like that's a dogshit perspective that's not unique to just this guy in this situation. I've seen a lot right now where people work under the assumption that if your significant other is doing anything in any capacity with someone of the opposite sex, it means that they're unfaithful to you and they're cheating. But I just don't really subscribe to the belief that most normal, sane people think that way. Of course, there are extenuating circumstances to that, but in this scenario, and in most scenarios like this, where it's just she's working on a group project with a classmate, I don't know why you'd immediately jump to, "She must be a whore who's going behind my back to fuck this one goofball in her class," and pretending that they're working on a group project. I just don't think that's something most ordinary people jump to immediately, and in this case, the guy views it as weird that she ever even agreed to go to his house to work on this group project if she was in a relationship, but I just don't understand why that would be viewed as weird. Like, where else are they going to do it? Like, if they go to her place and do it, it's the same problem, right? Now, she has invited a guy over to her house and she's in a relationship to work on this group project. Wouldn't that be the same issue? Or if they go somewhere in public and do it, like a fucking Starbucks or whatever, it's still the same issue. Like, oh, now they went to a public place where people go, like, on dates sometimes to do this group project. So you can always make that argument no matter what. So just, I don't know, it just doesn't compute with me. But anyway, back to the pizza. "I offered to split when you told me you were ordering a pizza and you said it was your treat. If you'd like, I can sell you for half of the cost." "Yes, I'd like that. And you ate more of the pizza than I did, so you should pay for like 2/3 of it." Now we're getting into the nitty-gritty math calculations here. Like, well, actually, listen here, Harpy. You ate more of the pie than I did, so you're gonna need to reimburse me more for it. And you know what? It wasn't my treat, because this Halloween there was only tricks. You tricked me. You lied by not telling me that you had a boyfriend. So give me extra cash for that pizza, you disgraceful harlot. She's being as gentle as possible here. I imagine she's scared of this individual, and she said as much in the comments of the post. She said that she didn't want to, like, get too aggressive back because then she'd be, like, afraid of what he might do. So it's just, like, I understand where she's coming from. You don't want to, poke and all of that. So she's just like, okay, that's fine. And I'm sorry again if you got the wrong idea, but I thought I made it clear that I viewed this as a professional relationship. Well, you didn't. And then he comes back and says, "Don't leave me on red." So he's getting very aggressive here. He's red in the face. He's steam coming out of the ears. Like, I understand why she wants to, like, tiptoe around this as gracefully and smoothly as possible. And it's something I've said a lot on stream, where in the current climate of things, it feels like everyone's more on edge than ever. Like, I've read so many stories over the last couple of years of people snapping at the smallest things, like even the most minor inconvenience. Like, this is a story I've referenced a lot, but it's one that actually legitimately sticks with me. There was a murder at a Subway where a man shot 2 Subway workers because they went a little heavy on the mayonnaise on his sandwich. Too much mayo was a death sentence for one of the 2 workers that was shot. The other one did survive, but I mean, it's things like that where it's never really worth pushing back. So in a case like this, I understand why she'd want to be really light about it. And I just want to mention that because I saw a lot of comments like, not really grilling her or anything, but just really kind of wondering why she was being so polite in lieu of all of the aggression from this guy. And I totally understand why she would be. I really do get it. I just wanted to point that out real quick. But anyway, it wraps up by saying, I don't think this conversation is worth furthering, which is fair. And then he responds saying, it's ridiculous you even chose a guy to work with if you have a man. I bet he was upset even if he pretended not to be. Now, she explained this a little further in the comments. She didn't even choose him to be like her group project partner. Apparently the way the groups were chosen were people chose topics and whoever had similar topics worked together. So these two just happen to have the same topics. It's not like she went out of her way to choose this, benevolent angel to work with or anything. But anyway, I understand this was like a very short text exchange. It's only like 3 screenshots here. But I just think there's a whole lot to digest and analyze here. As we as a species have become more and more isolated, all of our socialization and human interaction comes from behind a computer screen now, mostly. Almost all of our interaction with each other is through the internet. So it's leading to a lot of people not knowing how to socialize or not knowing how to pick up on like social cues, and I don't even really blame individuals for that. But it's led to situations kind of like this, where this guy really views that her being off the market, having a boyfriend, should mean that she shouldn't do anything at all with another guy, even work on a class project with another man. And also, something as simple as buying a pizza shows some kind of romantic interest between the two of them, some kind of mutual romance. So when it turns out that she wasn't interested and it leads to a rejection, it's something that he doesn't know how to handle appropriately. And overall, it is just pretty sad. Yes, it is like equal parts entertaining with some cringe text messages, of course, but at the core of it, there is a problem where people aren't going out in the real world and making genuine human connections. It's all through computers. So when you are in the real world with real humans, you don't really know how to handle things super well. So something as simple as getting like a rejection is a much bigger deal than it used to be. And overall, like I said, it's just kind of sad. I wanted to just talk about these text messages because I got real deep on why. Why would this be the response to something so simple? And of course, the text messages are very silly, like with the whole fucking pizza side quest thing. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. That's it. So yeah. Jojo Siwa. Even just saying her name elicits a involuntary response from your body, having your face kind of like crumple up like you just ate a warhead or something really sour. Because you always know when Jojo Siwa's name comes up in conversation, it's something embarrassing. Now, I will say, on my short list of idols, she does make it into the top 5 because I think she is truly the best dog shit dancer this species has ever produced. And I am a big enthusiast of bad dancing, so her classic Karma's a Bitch seizure, as well as her guilty pleasure stinky treasure dance routine here. This whole one is a masterpiece because there's not a single move here that looks good. Especially this finale, this is by far my favorite part, where it's kind of like some kind of monster walk. That's like a walk cycle a rubber hose cartoon would use when a villain shows up to the scene. But the point is, I love bad dancing, and no one does it worse than she does. Many of you know, I'm actually somewhat of a pioneer myself, the creator of the classic Where's My Hug At? And I've actually been in the lab cooking some new stuff. I don't have a name for this yet, but it kind of combines the Habbo Hotel dance animation with a little bit of like robotic Roomba maneuvers, so you can do like little circles with it. But I'm already getting lost in the sauce. I'm not here to talk about Jojo Siwa's dancing, I'm here to talk about her scamming. You can now pay $900 for the VIP package to be an unpaid roadie for Jojo Siwa. If that sounds familiar, it's because Gene Simmons just announced this exact same deal for $12,500. I made a video on that like 2 weeks ago. So Jojo Siwa really just took a page out of Gene fucking Simmons' playbook here. It's almost one-to-one. She copied Gene Simmons' homework. So here's what you get for the VIP package. The Dream Guest experience. You get 1 general admin ticket. You can watch the show from any designated audience area of your choice. You get an exclusive invitation to JoJo's live show setup before Q&A and sound check with JoJo. You get to help her put together the show with song selection input, which I'm just going to call fucking barnacles on, because there's no way she's going to let any goober who pays $900 for this get to have any say in what she performs. Like, this is definitely already pre-selected shit. An exclusive autograph of JoJo memorabilia worn during the show, so you'll get to wear her sweaty clothes that she performed in. Yeehaw. Access to her pre-show sound check and a Q&A. A pre-show meet and greet and a photo opportunity in front of the VIP backdrop, so that way everyone will know you wasted $900 so they can shoot spitballs at you and make fun of you. VIP exclusive merch, a commemorative VIP laminate and lanyard, early entry into the building with priority access, pre-show merch and shopping opportunity, a VIP host. So you're not just working for free, unpaid labor, you are paying to have the privilege of working for free for JoJo as a roadie. It's a beautiful scam, it really is, and I actually think there will be people that make this purchase. I just have a strong hunch that there actually will be some pitiful souls out there spending $900 to get fucking shit-stained breeches that JoJo wore during the show and setting up the show for her for free. But maybe I'm just being a Scrooge. Let's hear it from JoJo herself as she tries to sell us on this dream VIP package experience, because maybe there's more to it than meets the eye.
I mean, there's so much to tease. I am really excited because I wanted to create a show that wasn't just a concert, right? I have all these songs that I love to sing, but I was like, I want to do something more. I want to create, a party environment. I want to create something that feels very, immersive, interactive, intimate. And so I really did that with this show. And so, you're going to get the concert that you want to see, right? But then...
How innovative. Making a concert into a big party. AKA... what concerts kind of already are in the first place. This is a bunch of mumbo-jumbo here. This is gobbledygook. Like, you're just describing a concert. I just went to a Deftones concert. That shit was a great big party. It was a lot of fun. I don't exactly know what she's going to do to make it more of a party. I guess maybe she'll toss a beach ball around that everyone can start hitting, and maybe she'll, plant kegs and beer pong tables and flip cup around there. I have no idea what she's doing to make it more of a party. I couldn't tell you, but I can tell you she so desperately wants to be unique, and it is so cringe how hard she tries to stand out with weird fashion choices, really off-the-wall stuff. She does it on purpose, leaning into it full well knowing people make fun of her for it, but it's just, to me, kind of sad how hard she wants to be viewed as really quirky and zany for the things that she wears when she performs and stuff. So in here, she's got the football pads on. I don't even really know what that is. It looks like the armor the Saiyans wore when Nappa and Vegeta came down and met Goku for the first time. But if it was set in the My Little Pony universe instead of Dragon Ball.
There's going to be a DJ set run by me. There's going to be an interactive game with the audience where they have a chance to win a sick prize.
It's going to be beyond sick. It's going to be dope. I have no doubt that prize is going to go ballistic. It'll be like a fucking half-eaten Subway sandwich that she had for lunch that she'll toss into the crowd if you complete her trivia game or whatever she's going to play with the audience.
And I read that there is a chance for fans to get close and personal with you.
There is.
What can you tell us?
There's one, and this is the most exclusive VIP, where you actually are going to get to come during while we're loading in the show, and you're going to get to kind of help us set it up and make sure things are right and test out, the drum with me or the DJ booth with me. You're going to kind of...
You're describing a job, JoJo. This is labor. You're supposed to be paid for these things, not pay for the privilege of doing them for you for free. It's an interesting proposition. Gene Simmons really did just blow open a whole new door for insufferable assholes to exploit their fans here for these VIP packages. I don't know if this was common before Gene Simmons, but I'm pretty confident JoJo saw that from Gene and said, I want to do that. I feel like that's where this spawned from. That's just a hunch, though.
Get that. Then we're doing another one where you just get an exclusive backstage tour we do this fun thing where you get a little bit of show memorabilia. So there's different things that are used within the show that we will replace every night, and so we will give that to those top tier. We're calling them dream guests on my show, like dream guests on my podcast, but dream guests on my show.
The title makes sense. These are dream guests. These are the most brainwashed drones you could find that will actually pay you tons of money to work for you for nothing in return. I guess, other than, of course, maybe like some grease-stained clothes that were worn during the performance. That's enough, I guess. But yeah, hearing her describe it, I'm still not sold on the value. Still don't think that's worth 900 clams to go work for free for the JoJo Siwa tour. Now, I got a little curious. She is coming to Tampa, and I was tempted to buy the $900 package just to see what that's like. I wouldn't pay $12,500 to move around Gene Simmons' oxygen tank and get fucking coffee for him while he berates me and demands that I change his diaper, but I would consider paying $900 to help set up JoJo Siwa's song selection and fucking, I don't know, the sound check and bring in all the equipment or whatever else was described there. Like, that would almost be worth it as a joke, but I don't think I'll actually do it. It just seems like the joke immediately loses its luster when I show up there and just get put to work. Like, I paid for this package. Now I'm working fucking 6 hours or 8 hours, however long it is to set this up. And then all I get to do is listen to music I don't like. She doesn't have a single song that I could even, like, wiggle my finger to. And I get cursed with some kind of special grade cursed item that she wore during the performance. Like, it just... The idea of it is silly, like paying to do that as a joke. But actually doing it, I would be so ashamed. But I just wanted to mention, I looked it up, she is coming to Tampa, and I thought about it for a second. So yeah, I think this is a terrible VIP package. I don't think it's a good idea, I'll be honest with you. That's really about it. So yeah. Over the last couple of months, I've analyzed more text messages than the FBI. I have been glued to bad romance and flirting, like a moth to a flame. I've been wandering the deepest, darkest pits of filth. It's like in Space Jam when Michael Jordan gets sucked into the golfing hole. I've been sucked into the asshole of the internet, and all I see is cringe down here. But today there's a new ingredient being added to this concoction. The recipe had a chemical X. Crime. This got posted to Reddit earlier today, and a lot of people sent it my way, and it actually reminded me of a real criminal case that happened back in 2022, and I actually found the case again through the comment section of this post, because I couldn't quite recall all the particulars of it, but there is a lot of similarity shared between that criminal case in 2022 and these text messages that this individual is showcasing here. So it starts with this girl's coworker messaging her out of the blue saying, "Hey." He receives crickets, no response, silence. And you know what they say, if at first you don't succeed, try being weirder. So he comes back around within 3 hours saying, "Hello? Is this blank?" She says, "Who is this?" And he goes, It's me," with a smiley face. "I just wanted to text you and see how things were." "Oh, things are going alright, I suppose. Not to come off as rude, but how did you get my number, dude? I mean, I don't mind you texting me, but I've never gave it to you." And that's when he lifts up the curtain and breaks the magician's code, revealing his secret method. "I just grabbed it off the contact sheet in the office room. Hope that's alright." To which she says nothing in response because that is fucking creepy. She never gave him her number. He just went out of his way to find it from their workplace. Yucky. But he comes back around saying, "How's it going?" And he just keeps going, throwing questions at the wind here, hoping to receive even the slightest semblance of life on the other side, not realizing that he has already scared her by snooping around tracking down her phone number without ever getting it from her directly. So it's already super creepy to do that. So he says, "How was your New Year's?" No response. 2 days later. "Sorry to keep texting, but what are you up to today? If you're free later, I'd love to go out." I will never understand that kind of shit right there. How can you be so deluded and lost in your own little fantasy land Narnia that you think there's even an iota of a chance that she agrees to go out with you when she has ignored your messages for 4 fucking days? Like, what is the thought process? Scratching at his chin. Maybe she's playing hard to get. Perhaps she's just been truly swamped and has been really wanting to reply to me, but just might be a bit shy and doesn't know how. I know. I'll go ahead and invite her out with me. That should make her a lot more comfortable. And he goes a bit deeper. I know you're probably busy, but I could pick you up too, so you wouldn't have to take the bus anywhere. If you wanted to go out, that is. Sorry to keep texting, but I don't want to be out too late, so I'd appreciate a response at some point, Smiley. I'm heading out to get coffee now, so if you want to join me, just let me know. Ma'am, you better hurry. The choo-choo train is leaving and Mr. Perfect is going with it. You only have one opportunity to get coffee with a gentle sir like this, so you really gotta play your cards right. She declines, saying, I would appreciate it if you didn't text me unless it's work-related. I don't really know you, and I'm only blank. You're 5 years older than me, dude. This just feels creepy. I didn't mean to be creepy or anything. You're just pretty, and I thought it would be cool if we got to hang out, Smiley. No thanks. That's honestly so weird, and if you continue to ask, I'm going to talk to Lean about this. I'm assuming that's like their supervisor or someone higher up at the place they work. And then he goes in deep. He says, I'm not gonna lie. I've been thinking about you a lot, and I just want you to spend time with me. What you said the other day just felt rude. At least try and give this a chance. I know you're probably not awake, but I've been up all night thinking about you. Not going to lie, sometimes I like to take pictures of your ass while you're in the drive-thru window and I jerk off to them in the bathroom. I'll go ahead and take a courtesy pause here to give everyone a brief respite and let that nugget marinate in this sauce here because he just dropped a real heavy, spicy meatball on the plate. And when I first read it, I certainly wasn't ready for that because that's just openly admitting to a crime. I'm not a sheriff or anything, but I'm pretty confident that that's illegal. He'd probably be taken away in handcuffs if this information got out, which it should. She should absolutely report all of this. Now, somehow it actually only gets worse from here. This is just the beginning. He's showing his true face, and man oh man, is it an extraordinarily ugly one. I know that's messed up, but imagine if we fucked in the work bathroom, or if we went out in public. I honestly just love the idea of having a little helpless bitch under my control. I know you're so much younger, but you should give it a shot. Older men can be so much fun to be with. No one at work would have to know. Hello? Sorry for calling, but I'm really lonely and you haven't replied to me at all. Since the text messages are going unanswered, I guess he's resorted to actually just calling her, which is also being ignored, obviously, because that's the safest thing you can do is ignore it. So I can't believe the revelation that it turns out he's lonely. Who would have seen that coming? With smooth talking like this dude's got all the game in the world. This man's a fucking apex predator, a grizzly bear, a champion of Riz here. I can't believe that he, of all people, would somehow be lonely. What a curveball. He then tries to brush all that under the rug, trying to apologize for it. Sorry about last night. I got carried away. I know you're probably not even reading these, but I hope you have a good day, Smiley. I'll be thinking of you. I really don't see an issue. It's not like a romantic date or anything. It would just be getting coffee and food. And if you were in the mood, we could always go to my place to watch a movie. I know it sounds creepy, but why not just get out and enjoy the day together? What in the hell is even that? What are you talking about? It's not like a romantic thing or anything. You were just talking about fucking in the workplace bathroom. And then you were talking about having a helpless bitch under your control. What do you mean it's just coffee? You're already showing how extraordinarily creepy and perverse you are. What are you yapping about? He's blabbermouthing about a bunch of hooey. And that's when she finally does respond to all this and says, alright man, I'm probably going to report you to the police. You know damn well that I'm underage and you're texting me in the middle of the night like that. Fuck off. And then he drops her address and says, if you continue to ignore me, I'll just make it so you can't. If you tell anyone, I'll make this even worse for you. So it turns out she's underage, and he was well aware of that fact. And he also would have been even more aware of that fact, considering he snooped through the confidential workplace documents to find her address and her phone number. So it would have been abundantly clear that she is underage, and he didn't care. He still went for this full throttle. So he's also a pedophile on top of all of this. Now, he concludes their conversation by dropping her address to obviously try and scare her, letting her know that he knows where she lives and he can always pay her a visit. And a lot of people in the comments, and I think a lot of people in general, would assume that that's just supposed to be like some kind of scare tactic to get her to not say anything. Not necessarily that he's going over there right this instant to do something, but that is still a legitimate threat, and I imagine an actionable threat that the authorities can use. This is one of those situations that really shouldn't be taken lightly, and it seems like it isn't. It seems like she's taken the proper measures here, like contacting authorities or contacting workplace staff and all that, which is what she should be doing, because this is just legitimately dangerous. I mentioned at the start that it reminded me of a case from 2022 where a man killed his 17-year-old coworker because he had a huge crush on her, and since he couldn't have her, nobody could. Her name was Riley Whitelaw, and she was murdered at her place of work by this individual. He recently got sentenced in October of 2023 for the murder, and it is just horrifying. Now, Riley had previously made a complaint to the employment about how uncomfortable he made her with like the advances that he would make on her and all of that, and even asked to like have her schedule changed so they wouldn't have to work together. And despite all of that, they still worked together. The place of employment did not change her schedule around to get her away from him or anything like that. They continued to work together despite all of her complaints until it eventually culminated with him killing her. It's a tragic story. Fucking horrifying. And it reminds me of the text messages we just read right there, where a coworker becomes infatuated with someone and then eventually does something disgusting like that. So reading through these text messages, it is a concerning individual in a scary situation. And it's something I think about from time to time about how awful it must be to just be doing your job, doing nothing wrong at all, and then still ending up in a situation like this. This girl never made any advances toward this guy. She never even gave him her number or anything at all, and yet somehow he still became obsessed with her and then stalked her company documents to find her phone number and her address and all of that. It's just so awful. She's literally just doing her job and then gets put in a situation like this because of this absolute lunatic. So yeah, just wanted to talk about it a little bit. I think situations like these should always be taken seriously. Like if a coworker or anyone for that matter starts to get like a level of obsession with you that it becomes a bit palpable, that you can start to see it, it immediately needs to be something that you take very seriously because you never know where it could lead. And I think that is just always something that needs to be handled with real care. So just wanted to go over this a little bit. That's really it. See ya.